Rants, the show in which I rant about whatever aspect of the world is annoying me lately. I am your host, ThatKidDouglas, aka the Unhero, the internet's loneliest D-list personality, and with the releases of Captain America Civil War and Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, they've not just caused civil war with our favorite comic book characters, but they've also caused civil wars with movie critics and audiences. And I felt with the release of Captain America Civil War this coming Friday that it would be the perfect time to delve into this whole issue. So, without any further ado, let's get into the dawn of Civil War.
John Bitch Boy Campy. Yeah, Andy Assor and Christian Retard Harloff Meatloaf. Fuck all of you Marvelite zombie imbecile losers. Fuck screen shit Marvel junkies. Fuck Collider Marvel dick riders. Fuck comic bitch cast and fuck rotten shitty tomatoes. Fuck Kevin imbecile flip flopper Smith. Fuck Tyrone nigger fatness. Fuck Chris suck a dickman. Fuck Marvel. DC and Warner Brothers #1. Tom Anderson fuck you. Tom Anderson suck a dick. I'm so freaking elated that Grace Randolph owned those morons all the way. Have fun being blocked, muted, and your stupid-ass burst comment deleted by me personally, you asswipe shithead moronic pariah. Go fuck yourself, you lame-ass pathetic piece of shit in life. You're such a freaking moron who will just have to enjoy being blocked, muted, and your stupid-ass burst comment deleted by me personally, you asswipe fuckface shithead moronic pariah. Grace Randolph continued to expose these paid Marvelite zombie bitch hack and shills. We got your back. John Donovan, oh, so you're God now, and you're perfect? Stop being butthurt by my comments, and yeah, John Campy, yeah, is an undercover bitch. Hell, Rotten Tomatoes give Barbershop the next shit a high score. Enough said. Now, what do these accounts have to do with the video in question? What relevance does this have to the video? Well, when I was researching for this very episode, I noticed something really, really strange. All of his videos are massively disliked, negative reception across the board. But all of the comments are positively responding to the guy and agreeing with him, and I figured, that's weird. Why the hell is there such a discrepancy between the like to dislike ratio and the people that comment on these videos? Well, that's because I believe a majority of these accounts are sock accounts. 3 of these, for example, no content, no activity, no content, no activity, no content, and barely any activity. Seems really weird and fishy, right? I mean, why would people agree with someone like this? I believe that Andre has created dozens upon dozens of sock accounts and replies to himself because he knows nobody would ever agree with him on anything, and then pretty much blocks anybody else that has any sort of dissenting opinion about Batman v Superman and DC as a whole. I mean, when you look at these comments, you can tell they're very fishy. They're very weird. And it really solidifies my point that these are indeed sock accounts is when he says, have fun being blocked. Now that's weird, right? Why would another user say to someone else, have fun being blocked, when another user would decide who gets blocked and who doesn't, right? That seems really weird. Another user can't block another user on someone else's video unless the person in question, the sock account, belongs to that same person. And I do believe Jaheeb Valentine is a sock account owned by Andre, because why else would he be saying, have fun being blocked? I truly do believe it's the same person, because you can't just say, oh, have fun being blocked on someone else's video. That seems weird, that seems fishy, don't you think?
You know you failed at life when you're a 40-year-old man, and yes, he's in his 40s, complaining about how people didn't like a movie you like, going out of your way to insult them, and then creating dozens of sock accounts to reply to yourself and say how awesome it was. I mean, I don't understand it. Really, what benefit do you really gain out of that? DC and Warner Brothers are not going to acknowledge your existence because you defended their $200 million movie. They're not. So again, like I said in Fanboys Ruin Everything, what's the point? Seriously, because all you are doing is making yourself look like an idiot. And on top of that, an internet lolcow. And if there's one thing you don't want to be, is an internet lolcow. I mean, Jesus Christ. And it's funny that you call John Campy, formerly of Collider Movie Talk, a cocksucker, when you completely forget the fact that he was one of the only people that liked Batman v Superman, and he thought Man of Steel was a masterpiece. Look, future XMD Comic Zone, if you're going to do these shitty rant videos in the future, at the very least, could you at least do some research before you do them so you don't look and sound like an idiot that doesn't know what he's talking about? Oh, Jesus Christ. And then that's what it is. You completely fail to forget the fact that people do not like Batman v Superman. It's just not a good movie. Nobody is entitled to like Batman v Superman. Nobody has to like Batman v Superman. You don't like it? Oh well, that's the way that it is. People have opinions and they're free to express them. If they have problems with the movie, which a lot of people did, then they have to express them, and they're going to express them. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a crime to not like something. Just like it's not a crime to like something. People like what they like, and people don't like what they don't like. And the sooner you accept that, then the better. But honestly, I don't think you ever will accept that, because you're nothing more than an idiotic fanboy who no one will ever respect. You're a slave to a brand. You're a slave to a company that doesn't give a shit about you and doesn't know you exist. And you're spending all your time complaining about so-called Nolanites and Marvelites being butthurt, when really you're the only butthurt one here, because you're bitching about a movie, something that's made for entertainment, and you're getting upset because people don't like a movie you like and people don't share the same opinion. Seriously, instead of going to see Batman v Superman for the 900th time, why don't you take that money and invest in a mirror and look at yourself in it? It will do you a lot of good, because seriously, you're complaining about a movie that's made for entertainment, and you're getting all worked up, you're getting so butthurt because people do not like a movie you like, and people like a movie that you don't like, which you've never seen, and you don't elaborate to say why it's terrible. You're just saying it because you're a humongous DC fanboy who has that DC dick up his ass. Like, you know, that's all I gotta say. Anyways, let's move on to the next one.
You fucking fake bitch-ass whore. No wonder you got fired from AMC. How can you not like Man of Steel? BVS is fair to acknowledge it has some problems, but Man of Steel, that movie is a fucking masterpiece. If I ever see you in Burbank, I will fucking kill you, bitch. Now, this was an Instagram message sent to film critic Clark Wolf, who currently works for Nerdist Industries and is an occasional guest on Collider Movie Talk. This was sent by a man by the name of Kevin Valine. The reason? Because Clark didn't like Man of Steel. And he got upset because someone didn't like a movie he liked. Oh boy, where have I heard that one before? Now, not only is this message completely deplorable and disgusting, but the one that I don't understand is why would he send this under his real name and, I'm assuming at least, his real picture that can show what he looks like. That is so incredibly dumb. Now, I'm not condoning death threats, I'm really not, but if you're going to do it, at the very least, shouldn't you do it with an anonymous name? A picture that doesn't identify who you are? Really? This is the internet, where people can easily identify who you are. And with this picture, they can easily identify who you are. Listen, I like Man of Steel. I liked it when it came out. I haven't watched it since, it came out, but I liked the movie. I think it was good. But I'm not going to deny that there's people out there that have legitimate problems with it. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a crime to not like Man of Steel. Nobody has to like Man of Steel. Seriously, Man of Steel is one of the most divisive movies I've ever seen. And that's okay. People can share why they like it and think it's awesome, and people can share why they don't like it and why it has problems and why it has flaws. That's the difference of opinion. But apparently, no. You can't like something, and you can't not like something. You either have to like it or don't like it, or you're going to get attacked either way. And really, dude, did you honestly think sending a death threat to a film critic because she didn't like a movie you liked, why would you think that would be a good idea to do? And especially with your real identity and your real picture, where people can easily find out who you are. Are you stupid? Like, Jesus Christ, it's just a movie. This is just something people do for entertainment. It shouldn't be that serious to the point where you actually have to send somebody a death threat. And if you honestly do that, no matter what movie it is, then you are a sociopath and you need some serious mental health. Simple as that. No discussion. I don't know what it is about some of these comic book movies that make people just go nuts. Like, look, dude, it's not that serious, man. It's really not that serious. The good news of it is, unlike that Tumblr girl and the whole Toby Turner situation, she actually did file a police report, and Kevin Valine took down his Instagram account, I believe, a few days later. So, I haven't really heard anything else regarding that situation, but if I do, I'll let you know right away. But, yeah. But we haven't even gone into the thick of it yet. Let's move on to the next part where we cover Grace Randolph. I've been having a long-standing conversation with my viewers about BVS hate, which many agree is a valid standpoint. One viewer sends me the blurb of a Captain America Civil War review, totally proving my point. I retweet. Andy Signor and John Campy muscle their way into this conversation, hysterically twisted my words. I refuse to back down nor give in to the groupthink that demands we all hate BVS. Upset that everyone on the face of the earth doesn't immediately agree with them. Things get ugly all around. That's on Signor, Campy, and BVS haters who can't stand the idea anyone might actually like BVS or defend it. This story is covered in the Ratware. Surprise, surprise. A number of people in the comment section agree with me. I I agreed to go on Collider Movie Talk to discuss further after being invited by Christian Harloff. Then today I discover Harloff is clearly making fun of me on Collider Movie Talk behind my back. Do I want to go on a show like that? Yeah, I don't think so. I think we're all tired of this conversation, and I stand by one of the first things I tweeted about this. If you see someone trashing another movie in perverted glee for clicks and to stoke fan hate, just call them out on it or don't click. Oh yeah, and BVS is a bold piece of storytelling, the shining of the superhero genre, which by the way, everyone initially hated too. To clarify, I'm not anti-Marvel, never have been, just like I've never been anti-DC, which I've been accused of in the past. Don't let the haters who are rabidly protecting their own agenda and reputation succeed in distracting you from the BVS hate issue with a lie. Demand that they counter with actual facts that pertain to the issue at hand. Why are a few so upset, turning so ugly? Because so many people agree with me. The support is real because I'm right.
Okay, first things first before we jump into things, I respect Grace Randolph as a critic. I really enjoy her work, and I appreciate the fact that she's able to stand by her opinions, no matter how unpopular they may be. This is not a personal attack against her. I'm just criticizing some of the things that she's said and done. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, first of all, like I said before, John Campy was one of the only people to like Batman v Superman, and he thought Man of Steel was a masterpiece. It's pretty obvious he didn't do any sort of research before making these utterly ridiculous statements. And second of all, Christian Harloff did not make fun of you on Collider Movie Talk at all. In fact, this is what he actually said.
And I gotta say, shame on you for doing that, because you're part of this and you should know better than most anybody else to not be doing that. But that being said, it's just you're throwing fuel to the fire, because there's a few people that write, oh, you guys just hate it because Disney paid you off, right. And then you get someone else that going, you know what, you make a good point, maybe they are, and then it's nonsense. And we talked about this on Mailbag. It makes no sense for Disney to do that, because can you imagine if it came out that Disney was paying off YouTube critics to say that they liked Civil War?
Yeah, ridiculous.
They're going to risk their empire on hey guys, say you like it. They want you to talk about it, whether you like it or you don't. At least you're talking about it. It's ridiculous. It is asinine, and it's really dopey and irresponsible for some people to be saying that.
I could easily accuse you of having an anti-Marvel or anti-Pixar bias because you didn't like Guardians of the Galaxy and Inside Out, two universally praised movies. But I didn't. You know why? Because it's just your opinion. You gave your reasonings, you gave your opinions as to why you didn't like Guardians of the Galaxy or Inside Out. And even though I didn't agree with it, because I personally think Guardians of the Galaxy and Inside Out are both fucking brilliant, I understood that it was just your opinion. I respected that, and I moved on with my life. So, why is it? Why is it that when anybody doesn't like Batman v Superman, or any DC film for that matter, they have an anti-DC bias? Why? I don't get that. Do you realize that people have a difference of opinion? Did you ever think the reason people don't like the film is not because they have an anti-DC bias? It's not because they're getting paid off by Marvel or Disney? It's just because they think films like this and Batman v Superman just aren't very good? Did you ever think of that? So what if people don't like something you like? That's life. Not everybody is going to like what you like. And the sooner you realize that, the better. And again, nobody was saying you had an anti-Marvel or anti-Pixar bias because you didn't like Guardians of the Galaxy or Inside Out, because people understood it was just your opinion. So why is it that when people are expressing their honest opinions about a movie, you say, oh, Marvel and Disney, they must be paying you off. They must be paying you off. Do you see how ridiculous that sounds? Because it does sound ridiculous. There's no conspiracy. There's no people plotting to ruin Batman v Superman. Batman v Superman was ruined by the fact it wasn't a good movie. It's essentially the Cars 2 comic book movies. It's not a good movie. It's certainly not a bad movie either. And that's the way that it is. Do you honestly want critics to give positive reviews just so they can be slaves to a brand, just so that it will make you feel better? Really? You don't want them to give their honest opinions, because that's what it seems like to me. You just want critics to sugarcoat everything and say, it's all awesome and super hunky-dory and everything's fine. It doesn't work like that. If people have legitimate flaws about a movie, they should be able to express them, no matter what. And you going and attacking critics because they don't share the same opinion on a movie not only makes you immature and unprofessional, but it makes you look like a psychotic bitch. And this is coming from a fan. I enjoy your work, and I'm not just saying that because you put me in that Star Wars Force Awakens opening weekend box office montage, but I'm saying that as a legitimate fan. Now, remember back in 2009 when a certain little someone said this?
Page. Grace lists herself as single, which comes as no surprise. Her favorite TV shows are lame, redundant, and or boring, and she likes 3 movies, which Facebook allows you to like way more than 3 movies. Grace likes to flaunt that she attended the Tisch School of Arts, majoring in film and television, which is interesting because on my Facebook page it says I actually graduated. But back to Grace's videos. For the sake of this comparison, I'm looking at a movie we both recently covered, Ninja Assassin. What about these are reviews? Highlighting the marketable points of a film and then quizzing Mr. and Mrs. unaccredited public is no way to evaluate a movie.
So then why would you go and do the same thing 7 years later, all because somebody didn't share the same opinion on a movie you liked? All because somebody liked another movie better than another movie. And listen, if you had a personal issue, a personal grievance with John Campy, then fine. But did you really need to bring his wife into it? It's one thing to call his ethical standards into question, but to bring his wife into this and to say that he's being paid off by Disney because he went to the world premiere of Captain America Civil War? I'm sorry, it's just an incredibly dick move. And did you forget that he was one of the only people that liked Batman v Superman? He's not part of this groupthink. He's not part of these so-called hate groups to hate on Batman v Superman. He actually liked the movie. Seriously, did you not do any research before you made those statements, Grace? Come on. And this is the kind of behavior that I would expect fanboys to do, not professional film critics. And according to your logic, anybody in the history of the entire planet Earth that didn't like Batman v Superman must be paid off. Jeremy Jahns, Black Nerd Comedy, Chris Stuckman, The Flick Pick, Bobby Burns, they all must be paid off because they didn't like Batman v Superman. Me and my buddy Kinrai Ku, we must be paid off as well because we were both in agreement that Batman v Superman was not a very good movie and that it had a lot of problems. Despite the fact we're a bunch of lonely nerds in our early 20s who live in Ajax, Ontario, Canada, far away from the reaches of Hollywood. But no, apparently that doesn't matter. If you didn't like the movie, then that must mean that you're getting paid off by Disney. You must be getting paid off by Marvel. Are you kidding me? You have to understand, you have to realize how stupid and idiotic that statement is, right? It's ridiculous, and it has no weight. And you should know that, considering the fact that you're a professional film critic. And the fact that you'd go on and attack all these people, you attack Screen Junkies and attack Collider and Schnoz, all because they said, all because they rightfully said that anybody that said that there was a conspiracy regarding Batman v Superman was an idiot. I mean, they are right. It's not like they're lying. Personally, I believe, if you honestly believe there's a conspiracy against Batman v Superman, and that people are out for DC, then you're an idiot. Because there isn't. There isn't. Disney would have nothing to gain from it. I mean, like, do you know what would happen if it had came out they were paying YouTube critics and paying movie critics to say good things about Civil War? The backlash would be unbelievable. They don't care what DC or Warner Brothers are doing, just like DC and Warner Brothers don't care what Disney and Marvel are doing. They're just out to make movies so they can make money. They don't give a shit. Like, Look, the point I'm trying to make here is that if you like Batman v Superman, that's fine. You know, more power to you. I don't agree with it, but that's your opinion. But if you want people to respect your opinion, you have to respect theirs in return. You don't go and attack people because they don't share the same opinion on a movie. And certainly don't go send people after other people because they didn't like something you like. That's childish, immature, and completely unprofessional. Even though I like you, Grace, and I really, really do, shame on you. You were in the wrong in this situation. And honestly, all you've really done is make yourself look like an embarrassment. Look like an absolute joke. I mean, and that's just my opinion on the whole thing. And honestly, in the future when it comes to things like this, maybe you should learn to conduct yourself a little better. And I'm going to say this one last time. There is no bias. There is no conspiracy. People don't People just prefer one thing over the other, and there's nothing wrong with that. Capiche? Anyways, that's all I gotta say. This is ThatKidDouglas, aka the End Hero, signing out. Deuces, stay frosty and keep it weird. Cue an outro sequence now.